and welcome to News 8 at whatever period you're watching this at. I'm Angela Labella.
And I'm Trevor Krantz, and once again, welcome to the #1 newscast in San Diego. Some things we will be covering today. The angle of a bullet, a man shot by rogue bullet.
Nicki Minaj dies in a plane crash.
A rare basketball win.
Sound waves.
A jumping horse.
And top movie of the week. On our next segment, we will talk about how Taylor Swift is coming out with a new album tomorrow, after she waved to a homeless man on a street and he didn't wave back.
Also today, learning how to use algebra in our everyday lives.
It is said to be a freak accident that Nicki Minaj has unfortunately died in a plane crash this morning.
Her pilot was shot and killed by a .22 rifle. The suspect is supposedly a 14-year-old boy whose name we are unable to release right now, but he's scheduled to be in court on October 10th.
We now have a visual to show you what has happened.
This is a parabola. It's also the way the bullet hit Nicki Minaj's aircraft. You can tell that this is a function because the lines intercept through it only once. Let's move on to our next graph. In this one, x is 2, 3, 7, and 8, and y is 6, 3, 7, and 9. These are okay because we don't have two the same numbers in x and two different numbers in y. Let me show you an example of a non-function here in one moment. Now, x really doesn't have much to do with our table here. Now, what the main thing is y. As you can see, we have 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and 2 and 8. If this were correct, it would be more like 2 and 8, 3 and 4, and 2 and 8. Now, it is okay for x to have 2 and 2, but if it were correct, y would need to have the same two numbers too. So for this to be correct, the numbers would need to be either 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and 2 and 6, or 2 and 8, 3 and 4, and 2 and 8. Now let's go to our non-function graph. As you can see, this is our non-function graph. But if you look at it, if I were to draw lines through each intersection point, it would go through more than once. Now, if it intercepts more than twice, this makes it so that it is not a function instead of it being a function.
Studio dogs, they're running around here all the time. Well, I'm filling in for Trevor Krantz, who just ran out of the studio to go to the scene of Nicki Minaj's plane crash. Let's go to him in the field right now.
Now we're on the scene of right where the plane crashed. We're not allowed to go within 500 yards of it, but as you can see, right in that little area where there's an opening of the trees is straight where the plane went through. We don't want to head out there because there might be fuel that dropped out of the plane, but we're not fully sure. So until safety crews can get out there, we're staying right here.
A new record was set today during the Olympics when one of the equestrians jumped their horse over an 8.4-foot jump.
The horse was a Dutch warmblood named Hawk. They were excited to win and hold the new world record.
The trainer would expect the horse to increase his jumping by 0.84 feet per year. So our equation would be 0.84x equals y. We could show this information in a function table. So, by plugging in 1 into the x, you would get 0.84 as y. 2 would be 1.68, 3 years, 2.52, 4 years, 3.36, 5, 4.20, 6, 5.04, 7, 5.88, 8, 6.72, 9, 7.56, and 10, 8.4. It is interesting to note that the trainer of this 10-year-old Dutch warmblood has set strict goals to ensure his horse would be an Olympian. He set his annual milestones for his horse to jump, beginning at age 1. We could write an algebraic equation to figure the average feet he would need to increase in his jumping each year over the course of 10 years to be able to hold his title. Let feet equal the average feet per year, and 10f equals 8.4. 10f equals 8.4 divided by 10 on both sides. Feet equals 0.84.
Alrighty, this just in. Safety crews have informed us that there's at least one survivor that they found in the plane crash rubble. I'll take it back to you until we get even more info on this.
Local theaters are struggling to survive in today's suffering economy, so they expect high returns on big releases like House at the End of the Street. In fact, the Rancho San Diego Theater needed to take in $5,000 in ticket revenue to the Friday premiere showing of The House at the End of the Street, rated PG-13, to break even. The cost of admission to the newly released movie is $10 for adults, and students receive a $2 discount. Let's figure out if the theater broke even. Let X equal the number of student tickets, and let Y equal the number of adult tickets. So our equation is 8x equals 10y equals 5,000. Now this equation is our x-intercept. 8x plus 10 times 0 equals 5,000. You plug in 0 for y to find an x-intercept. 8x equals 5,000 divided by 8 on both sides, which equals 625. X equals 625. This is our y-intercept. 8 times 0 plus 10y equals 5,000. You plug in 0 for x to find the y-intercept. 10y equals 5,000 divided by 10 on both sides, and y equals 500. We can graph this information in a graph to show the relationship of the number of student tickets versus the number of adult tickets needed to be sold in order to break even. Are you interested in knowing how much it would cost to go to a movie? This can be shown in a function table. First, we have the adult tickets. X is representing the number of tickets, and Y is the total cost. For example, 1 ticket would be $10, 2 would be $20, 3 would be $30, 4 $40, and 5 $50. Next we have the student tickets. X and Y still are representing the number of tickets and the total cost. 1 ticket would be $8, 2 would be $16, 3 $24, 4 $32, and 5 $40. We know that these represent functions because each x only produces one y value. We can also check this with the vertical line test as shown on the graph. Again, this graph is an example of a function because each x only represents one y. We can test this using the vertical line test. As you can see here, each line only hits the line once. This graph shows the relationship of student tickets to adult tickets, which must be sold to break even. Any point on this line reflects this relationship. If you were to sell 0 student tickets, you must sell 500 adult tickets. If you were to sell 0 adult tickets, you need to sell 625 student tickets. So you must select a point on the line, for example, here. So if the theater sells 250 adult tickets, they must sell 300 student tickets.
It sounds like a helicopter's flying over the crash. It's most likely life flight, taking out the woman who was inside who survived.
Now we're going to take all you guys to Wyatt, who is at the basketball court where a nearly impossible shot has just been made.
Thanks, Angela. Well, this basketball shot has been taken from this roof way over there. Oh, that basketball hoop right there.
Here we see another example of our function. Although the parabola is up on the negative axis, it is still a function because the lines only intercept through it once and not twice.
This shot was taken for the leukemia funds of Alpine. And from this distance, I can't even make it. Look at that shot.
Hey, you guys.
Road plane!
I thought we were done, so I answered.
We're done. Oh. Oh yeah, that probably would be smart. Man, I should not be doing.
We're on the scene.
Whatever fear. Trevor, shut up.
Wait, just keep going. Just keep going.
No.
Person's.
Hi everybody. I'm getting done.
They want to be snooping around.
Hi.